Think becoming a nun means retreating to a quiet, pious life of prayer and reflection? Not for Hojo Masako. This Japanese powerhouse turned the idea of being a widow nun into a full-blown power move. Forget about stepping aside gracefully after her husband's death. She stepped up and became the ultimate nun shogun. Talk about flipping the script. Let's rewind. Hojo Masako, born into a samurai family in the late 12th century, married Minamoto no Yoritamo, the first shogun of Japan. Together, they established the Kamakura shogunate. But let's be real, Masako was the real brains behind the operation. When Yoritamo died in 1199, everyone assumed Masako would quietly retire to a temple like a good, obedient widow. Society basically expected her to mourn, don a humble saffron-brown robe, take up the veil, and quietly fade into the background. But considering Yoritamo's bad boy of the Heian-era reputation and his string of scandalous affairs during their marriage, who knows, maybe Masako was already planning a wild party celebration in her head during the funeral. Of course, she complied with tradition, but with her own twist. She did the nun thing. Sure, veiled, donning plain robes, the whole 9 yards. But while her appearance screamed, humble widow, her actions screamed, power player. Masako grabbed the reins of power, becoming the de facto ruler behind the scenes. Forget the image of a meek, mourning widow. Masako was holding court, managing alliances, and calling the shots in the Kamakura shogunate like a boss. Her secret sauce? Control over her son, Yori, who technically became the shogun after Yoritamo. But let's be honest, he was more of a figurehead while Masako and her Hojo family pulled the strings. And when Yori proved a little too independent for her liking, Masako orchestrated a coup to sideline him. The moral of the story? Don't mess with a nun shogun. Want proof of her legendary status? Enter the Jokyu War of 1221. Retired Emperor Go-Toba, fed up with playing second fiddle, thought he could snatch power back from the Kamakura shogunate. So, he rallied troops in Kyoto, declaring open rebellion against Masako and the Hojo clan. Did Masako crumble? Absolutely not. She gathered the samurai leaders, gave a fiery, drop-the-mic speech, and framed the rebellion as an existential threat to the shogunate. Samurai loyalty? Activated. Go-Toba's forces were crushed, and the imperial court was sent packing. The result? The Hojo clan emerged stronger than ever, and Masako proved she wasn't just a behind-the-scenes operator. She was a wartime strategist who outplayed an emperor. This wasn't just a military win. It was Masako's ultimate flex, solidifying her legacy as a force to be reckoned with. And let's not forget the irony. Masako was technically a nun, living in a time when women were expected to mourn, pray, and stay silent. But instead of retreating to a life of quiet devotion, she used her nun status as a smokescreen for dominating the political game. Honestly, even Machiavelli would have been impressed. So, why is Masako such a legend? Because she defied the odds, broke the rules, and showed that even in a man's world, a woman could hold the reins of power. Nun Shogun wasn't just a title. It was Masako's way of saying, sure, I'll play by your rules on the surface, but I'm still running the show. In a world that tried to sideline women, Hojo Masako wasn't just a footnote in history. She was the whole chapter. The ultimate power move? Running Japan while wearing a veil. Iconic, right?